Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there.
You never really know what someone's going through. So it's really important to be kind. You know, just a simple smile or a hello or checking in with your friends is so important, because some people just don't realize what you're going through, you know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. If you haven't gotten the Power 9 yet, I am going to drill this into you guys because I'm telling you, these are the little tiny things where you habit stack and it starts with one, and it's the domino that creates everything, that knocks over everything, that everything is built on. And this was one of them for us. After Chris and I lost everything, we literally were like, well, what we were doing and how we were thinking was not working. So we better start thinking differently, and we better change the way that we view money, because clearly it is fleeing from us right now. So how do we become the people who can be the containers to be able to hold this money, not just hold it, but create more of it and attract more of it and help other people learn how to do this? So I want to send you the Power 9. All you have to do is send me the word power. Don't send anything else, no emojis, no exclamation points, just the word power to myself on DMs on Instagram, which is just @LoriHarder. And I'm going to send you the Power 9. You can do it in less than 2 minutes a day. You guys, that is nothing. Okay, so fangirl moment, because I got to have this woman on who she's obviously been in my atmosphere and many other atmospheres for a very long time. And it is the former Victoria's Secret model, Miranda Kerr, but she is known for so much more than that, you guys. She is born in a small town in Australia, surrounded by farmland and nature. She was best known and celebrated for her international modeling career as a Victoria's Secret angel. And she's the founder and CEO of KORA Organics, which is a range of clinically active certified organic skincare products that produce powerful, visible results in a healthy way. She's got such an amazing passion for health and wellness, you guys, and for clean beauty and this clean beauty movement. And this podcast came at the exact right time for me because I am so into skincare right now because, I woke up one day and said, oh, I'm actually getting older. This is so weird. I should probably start taking better care of my skin. And I live in very sunny places. Well, usually anyway. California has not been so sunny, but I'm in California right now, live in Arizona. I spend a lot of time on the lake in the summer in Wisconsin. So I am like in the sun, want to take better care of my skin, want to make sure that it looks good. And talking to Miranda, I just had this moment of like, I love the passion she has for this and I want to use this product. So I have been using the KORA Organics Turmeric Glow Lotion for a while now and I am obsessed. I also love their skin oil, which is freaking amazing. So seriously, I hope that you guys love this podcast because especially if you love skincare and also just talking about business, but she was so down to earth. She was so kind. I loved being able to get to talk to her and I hope that you love the show. Let's get started. Miranda, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. So good to see you.
I am just number one, so grateful, but I have loved just learning about your story and following you just from like the span of your career is so incredibly diverse, all of the different things that you've done. Have you always been interested in doing a lot of things or are these things that just kind of progress through like different interests?
Honestly, I just love to be creative and so many things that I've been involved with. My passion comes from having that creative outlet. And so whether or not, even through modeling, working with some of the most incredible creative people in the world, and then designing like my first teacups, which I have here.
Oh my gosh.
These are my teacups I designed for Royal Albert.
So pretty.
Or whether it be designing a furniture collection or designing a pair of jeans for Mother Denim or designing a jewelry line for Swarovski. Like I really love being creative. And then so even with my packaging for KORA Organics, like I design all the packaging and I'm involved in every aspect of that business, but that's very different to the other creative projects that I've been involved in. So I just love expressing myself creatively. I even love singing.
I love that. I feel like so many entrepreneurs, like they can tend to go into business and shut that creative side down. And I feel like being creative and having those outlets, I feel like helps so much in business and what you're creating. Have you found that for yourself? Like the more creative you are?
Yes, because you can come up with creative solutions. And I always say to my team, like, and my mom taught me this, like where there's a will, there's a way. Like we can always work out a win-win situation for everyone involved, even in the challenging times. And even when we think, oh, how are we going to get through this? I'm like, there is a way. This has happened for a reason. Let's pivot. Let's look at it a different way. And then let's have a conversation maybe with the manufacturer and find out what we can do and make this happen. So yeah, you have to be creative when you're a business owner.
It's so true.
KORA is 95% mine. I mean, I started this company in 2009. The concept was in 2006.
Okay, I can't wait to dive into that because you have so many outlets where you get to express that. And I just learned about how did I not know about your furniture line?
And my furniture line, being creative,
Yes.
So I've been working with the furniture line, like that is a licensing deal for me. It's not my company. I just designed. So and they get to look after the whole business side of things, which in a way is great because I have my business, KORA Organics. So with the teacups and the furniture, that's where I'm involved on a creative level, but not the business level. With my company, I'm involved on the business level and the creative level.
Okay, I love that. Just showing the different opportunities for business so that you didn't have to take on everything with the furniture line. Did you approach them because you were like, hey, I love furniture, I love design, or did they approach you?
They approached me. So they approached me and said, through my agent and manager, they were like, would Miranda be interested in designing furniture? We've seen that she designs teacups. She has like an eye for design, like with the jewelry, I also designed handbags I love design. So they were like, would you like to be interested in having a conversation with us about designing a line of furniture? And I said yes. And so I came to the first meeting with this whole presentation of all of these things that I found inspiring. I came with this whole book, and they were like, okay, we work with a lot of people, but we've never had someone come so prepared. They were really blown away. And I was like, well, isn't that how it should be? Like, if you want to work with someone, shouldn't they like be showing you what they're thinking so that you know if you're on the same page? And they were really shocked, and they were like, yeah, we want to do this with you. But I'm so specific down to every little detail that I just have an eye for detail. And I'm like, I see things that other people don't see. And I think that my eye was trained in looking at images from a young age, because I've been in the industry since I was 13. I just turned 40. And so I would look and I would see different things in the photograph, or my eye was trained to, because someone would point out, like all the creative people I'm around, someone would be like, oh, let's adjust that in the background, or let's crop it this way, or let's take that out, or let's turn her head a little bit that way, so all the little details. If I'm looking at a picture, I'm not looking at it as if it's me. I'm looking at it as if like, how can we make this like, I don't know, like a piece of art or something, like so that it can get the right composition, it can have the right background, it can have the right lighting, it takes such a team to get the photograph the way that you want it to be.
I want to know, what was growing up like for you? Because you just talked about how you're so willing to be so openly creative, but also you share, like, while you were sharing that, I was thinking the willingness to like share your ideas and have that confidence. Like, where did that come from? What was growing up like?
Yeah, so I was born in a little country town in Australia, and the town is called Gunnedah. And that's a small town in New South Wales, like northwest of Sydney. And so most of my childhood was spent outdoors. I was such an active child, climbing trees, swimming in the river, riding dirt bikes. And growing up in that small country town, there was such a great sense of community, and everyone knew each other. And we had the hub was my grandmother's house, and she lived on a farm, and she had a vegetable patch, and she taught me how to cook from a young age. And she was just the epitome of like elegance and maternal loving kindness. Like she was incredible. But I learned so much from that country upbringing. My parents bought the cheapest house in like one of the smallest country towns. They were married when my mom was like 17. And I think my dad was like 20 or 21. So they had nothing, and it started from nowhere. And they just like, there are like pictures of me when they're like renovating the house that we grew up in. And that was like normal to me. And like, there was like, all this construction going on around me. But I was like, and I used to go to work with my dad, who's a builder. And I think that taught me at the end of the day, like the happiness that I felt as a child, it gave me such a groundedness. And it taught me like, as long as you have a roof over your head and you have clean water and you have that love of your family and your friends, that's like the most important thing. And I guess that was something that is, I don't know, I think it's something that kind of like is very grounding. And my mom, she's a very strong, fearless woman who taught me the importance of like having like balancing work ethic and having a strong work ethic, but also being a loving wife and a loving mother. But she also taught me that anything was possible. Like she said to me as a child, anything is possible, you can do anything. And as long as you do it with like a full heart and like do it wholeheartedly. And so she was an accountant by trade, and they also had a restaurant together at one point. And then my grandma, who I was talking about as well, she just had that generosity of spirit, and she loved cooking. She was really great at playing the piano. And these are some moments that, like, in my life that I kind of just feel so grateful for. And my grandmother, actually, she had a passion for health and wellness, and she was the first one who introduced me to noni, which is the noni fruit, which is our hero ingredient across the whole range. But she was into like all of that before it became like a big thing, like health and wellness and whatnot.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them, because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys, go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter, and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out. Hey y'all, if you didn't know, Earn Your Happy is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. This is so exciting to me because I have been looking for a really good home for the show for, I can't even tell you, years, literally. And now I've finally been able to come together and collaborate with other people who have incredible shows, and I want to share them with you. One of the shows is Motivation with Brendon Burchard. And you guys, if you don't know about the beginning of my career, I literally started with Brendon Burchard's work. It's how I launched one of my very first online courses and membership sites, was because he gives so much advice that you can integrate and implement immediately. And that's what you're going to get on the show. Not just motivation, but you're going to learn exactly how to get your stuff out in the world. And not just that, but Brendon runs in the most incredible group of humans who are really doing the thing out in the world that you want to be doing. So go check it out. Go subscribe to Motivation with Brendon Burchard. I promise you, this is going to be one of those shows that no matter when you tune in, you're going to get value. Like, it's not one of those that you're like, God, I listened for 30 minutes and I didn't get what I wanted. Like, from the beginning, you're going to get something that changes your life or changes your business. So go check it out. Motivation with Brendon Burchard. I know you're going to love it. I'm obsessed. So I was reading that when you were younger, or maybe still now, you had some anxiety struggles. Were there things that which I so relate to, which by the way, I'm from a very small town as well, and very outdoorsy like you were. But with the anxiety, how did it show up for you at a young age? And then how did you kind of learn to cope with that? And did it follow you through your life as well?
Yeah, I feel like anxiety can kind of come and go in waves. And the most important thing is what I've found for me, what's really helpful is to not fight against it, but to kind of ride the wave, just like you're riding like a wave, literally, like in the ocean,
Totally.
Because it will pass. And we're constantly in that state of like we're in a state of flux. And there's a book that I read by David Hawkins, and it talks about the state of consciousness. I think it was Power versus Force, or that must have been the book that, because he's written a lot of books and I've read them and absolutely love them. And it talks about if you can stay in like acceptance, so kind of having acceptance for what is, and then if you can stay in that attitude of gratitude, so basically when you wake up, you just say, thank you so much for another gift of life. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the clean water that I have. And just kind of really being grateful for things that are potentially we could take for granted. The fact that we have eyes to see, the fact that we can speak, the fact that we can walk. I mean, those are luxuries really at the end of the day, because there's so many people out there that aren't able to do those simple things that we do without even thinking about it. And so kind of like appreciating a lot of those things, also having a daily meditation practice. So often I might wake up and I'll be thinking, oh no, I need to go to sleep, and then I'll go on Insight Timer and I'll put on like a put me back to sleep meditation and put it in my ears. And I think to myself, well, if I don't fall asleep, at least I'm meditating. And that's a great thing for my body. And the next thing you know, I'm falling asleep.
That's such a good way to look at it. Like, at least if I'm not asleep, this is restful. Like it's
at least we all know that there's science behind the benefits of meditation for your brain. So instead of sitting there ruminating on thoughts, which isn't really helpful to anyone at like 2 a.m. in the morning, at least put in the headphones and just do a meditation and focus on what they're saying, as opposed to focusing on what like sometimes the chatter in your mind is saying. But there were also 2 times in my life, one when I was really young. So my boyfriend, he died in a car accident when I was 16. And so just like that, like he was gone. And at the time it was so challenging for me, especially because I was so young.
Yeah.
And it really taught me to appreciate every day as a blessing. And then I've spoken about how when Orlando and I separated, I fell into a depression as well. And I just feel like it can be so debilitating for someone to experience, and you never really know what someone's going through. So it's really important to be kind, just a simple smile or a hello or checking in with your friends is so important, because some people just don't realize what you're going through, And it's important. Another thing I learned is that talking is healing, like confiding in a therapist and talking about that. I also believe in the power of prayer. Howard Wills has some really great prayers that you can download, and they can help transform a lot in your life. And also yoga, Kundalini yoga was really important, like really helpful for me. It's been such a good anchor. Obviously, positive words of affirmation, essential oils, crystals, they're like tools that I lean on in my life as well. So, I think that it's normal for everyone in life to go through challenging times, and just you have to know that it's okay, and like it's okay to ask for help.
I love that. And I love that it wasn't just, oh, here's the 1 or 2 things. Like really,
It reminds me of just my journey through it. It was like, this works for me right now. This doesn't as much. This works better for me right now. This doesn't as much.
Exactly.
Kind of like, where are you at right now? And you have to try everything. Like,
Try it.
for as far as beliefs and where you are right now, because obviously you grew up with a set of beliefs and some of them are great, right? And they carried you to where you are. But some of them, I'm sure you had to like rewire and get rid of. What were some of the beliefs that you had to let go of? And what did you replace them with in order to be the woman that you are today, doing all the things?
Well, I think when you're young, you feel like, oh, we're going to live forever.
Mm.
And obviously, when my boyfriend died when I was 16, that really changed my belief in the fragility of life.
Mm.
And it's something that even now I tell my kids so much. Like, I don't want to get teary, but I love you. And I make sure I tell everyone how much I love them and appreciate them, because you just don't know. It's not an age thing. It could happen at any time to any of us.
Mm.
So life is so fragile and can be taken away in an instant. And yeah, I guess I learned the fragility of life and not to take anything or anyone for granted. And that's why like being present and being kind and leading from your heart is so important. And I also have learned when I was younger, I never wanted to put anyone out, like asking for help. But I've learned now to ask for help. And I used to be afraid. I didn't want to impose on people or put them out. But I've learned that people really like helping. They feel useful when you ask for help. And then being a mother has taught me that I'm capable of more than I ever knew was possible. I'm capable of like more love, more resilience, more patience, less sleep.
When did you kind of realize that you had all of these beautiful life lessons? You're a creative person. You think that you want to take this and channel this into your own company or your own products. Like, what did that journey look like for you around, okay, I was in the modeling world, I was doing all these things, and now I think that I want to get more into like the entrepreneurial space?
Well, that all happened quite naturally because my mom, when I was a teenager, she was diagnosed with cancer in her spleen. Oh. And so as a family, we had to look really deeply at what we were using on our skin and our hair, what products we were eating, like what packaged goods we were eating, everything. We did an overhaul on like our cleaning products, everything. And my mom was given this book called The Chemical Maze. And in there, it just explained in layman's terms what an ingredient is, what its use is, and if it could be potentially carcinogenic or an allergen in large doses. And so we were kind of horrified to see there were so many products out there that could have been one of the contributing factors to her illness. So we decided to try and look for healthier alternatives. And then it was like we had cleaned up a lot in our home, but we weren't able to find anything that was certified organic. So it was like in 2006, I was talking to a friend of mine explaining like this, like, I haven't found anything certified organic in skincare that's really like active and powerful. And she said, why don't I speak to her friend who has made certified organic aromatherapy? So I did. She put me in touch with her lab. And then I had a conversation with them. And I said, do you think it's possible? And they said, yeah, but if you want a certified organic brand, because I'd researched a lot, and the brand back then could say that maybe it was organic if it had one organic ingredient, or it was natural if it had one natural ingredient. And then the rest of it was like really was like greenwashing. And that was before greenwashing was a thing. So I wanted it to be certified from day one, because when you're a certified organic, every single thing that you do has to be approved and audited by an outside certification body. And I knew I wanted it to be certified worldwide, because I thought if I'm going to do this, I want to have the option, if it's successful, to be able to provide this to the world. And so that's where it all started. And I remember one of the first products we made was the Noni Glow face oil. And I remember sending it to my mom because she had rosacea, and it really like affected her confidence a lot more even than the cancer did, because you could see it on her face, and she generally had pretty nice skin. She wasn't really one to wear much makeup, but she didn't want to leave the house because she felt so insecure about the rosacea on her skin. and she was on a steroid cream, and that made her feel uncomfortable. And so I said, try this. Within a week, she'd called me and said, wow, I'm off the steroid cream, and this is like completely healed. And she's never had rosacea ever since. So that was kind of the starting ground of the company when I was trying and testing the products on myself and my family. Then we launched in 2009 in Australia. And then we didn't actually, like, then it became just my passion project creating this. And it was like an Australian owned and grown, it was doing super well in Australia. But it wasn't until 2017 that I launched in America, because I was busy working as a model and trying to run the company that was based in Australia. My mum actually ended up running the company for me because I was so busy with modeling. And in 2017, I made a decision to like cut back on the modeling and focus more on growing the business. That's when we launched here. And now we're sold in over 30 countries and we ship to 160. And it's been a whirlwind.
That's amazing. What has been your favorite part of it? What role have you loved the most within that business?
I just love creating the products.
The creating. There's a theme here, the creativity.
Yeah, the creating. But it's not just like the creative of the packaging. It's like creating these products that maybe people have never had before. Like, we were the first certified organic vitamin C in the world.
If our listener could only start with one, and then if they could start with two, what would those two be?
Well, this turmeric scrub is great for men and women. My husband's obsessed. We keep it in the shower. He uses it literally every morning. Then he uses the turmeric moisturizer, and then he uses the Noni Glow face oil. So that combination for him is like, his skin is glowing. It's completely transformed. Me, I use this in the shower. I do every day as well, but you can do it gently. And then I will, like, once a week or once every 10 days, if I have a bath, I'll put it on when I'm in the bath, and then just kind of enjoy the moment when the kids are asleep. I'll put some crystals in the bath, then I wash it off. So that product, 100%. I mean, they're all my babies, and I put so much love into them, but people go crazy about the Noni Glow face oil because of the fact that it helps with sensitive skin conditions. It also balances the pH. It's like, I call it my liquid gold, and it is, like a liquid gold. It melts into your skin and it gives your skin that glow without being oily. It really just nourishes your skin. And then obviously the turmeric moisturizer people are nuts about, because Katy Perry was so obsessed. She was like, I want to tell the world about this turmeric moisturizer. And she did. We did an Instagram live, and she's had problem skin her whole life. And that product like really transformed her skin. And so she's like obsessed with it. And she even dressed up once as the turmeric glow moisturizer.
That's amazing.
And she literally said, like, I've dressed up as my favorite moisturizer, the turmeric glow moisturizer. Like, I couldn't have asked, like, I couldn't have made that up. Like, I mean,
you literally couldn't have thought of that. Yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought that up in my mind that was a possibility. And then she shows up and says that on stage. I'm like, wow. She loves the product. But it's also like every product, the intention behind it is that when you use it, you feel that loving energy. So all the products are filtered through and touch upon crystals in the manufacturing process.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And all the products have a positive word of affirmation on the back. So for example, the back of the Noni Glow face oil, it has bliss, which is a really high frequency. I know before we were talking about the different frequency, like acceptance, love, joy. Bliss is like the kind of ecstasy.
I love that. I wrote a book called A Tribe Called Bliss. So that's great.
There you go.
Love that word. All my products were named after that. So cool. Okay. This was so much fun. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for creating awesome products that we can use that make us feel good and also beautiful, which is a bonus. And just, I appreciate you just sharing, the way that you think, how you show up in the world, all of the things, how you support other women too. I have a couple of friends who know you and they just say amazing things about you. So
yeah, it's really important to build each other up.
We need it. We need it. We need each other to get our dreams out in the world, and also just mental health and friendship and all of the things. So where do we start? Do we just go to your website for KORA? How does this all work?
Oh, yeah, you can go to KORAorganics.com. We have all the products there. We also have a selection available on Sephora and in Sephora stores. So you can go there. We have other smaller retailers like Goop as well. So, yeah, there you have it.
How can we support you? Like, what are you most excited about right now?
I'm really excited about the new plant stem cell retinol alternative serum. We just had our first billboard and it's actually like sold out of Sephora. I think they're getting restocked as we speak. I would say like try and test the products. I'm a big believer in and what we see online is once people try the products, they will just come back for more because they get the incredible benefits firsthand and they'll see the results and then they'll be like, okay, I need more. So at the end of the day, health is wealth. So take care of yourself.
That's all we have. Just this one body.
Yeah.
So true. Well, thank you so much for coming on, you guys. If you want to tag Miranda, let her know what your biggest takeaway was, what you loved about this interview. And most of all, go try her stuff because we need it. We need to clean up our skincare routine too. So grateful for you. And you guys, until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone. Hey, I know if you're listening to this podcast that you have big dreams and big goals. And one of the things that can really stop you is struggling with your marketing. Trust me, I have been there. Are you using 10 different systems just to build your online business? Then I want you to try Kajabi. Kajabi helps you build your web pages, set up funnels, and sell your courses, content, coaching, or communities. You've been hearing me talk a lot about funnels on this podcast and the importance of your email list. You can get a free trial at kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com. I've talked about Kajabi before, but here's something that's super cool and new. They just rolled out an AI assistant for creating your online course curriculum. And this means you just type in a topic that you want to create on a course or webinar and bam, it just generates a sample outline for you. It takes a ton of the hard work away. Of course, you're going to customize it to be your own, but this really helps you get over the struggle of how in the world to start, which is where most people stop. If you're like me, starting is always the hardest part, and that's what makes Kajabi so popular. They've made it easier for creators to build web pages, build courses, build coaching programs, build membership sites, build checkout pages, and build email funnels. So if you're struggling with any of those, you got to go check it out. Go to Kajabi.com. Kajabi was really the first all-in-one system and is trusted by over 100,000 creators. I think that's good enough for me. Also as influencers and marketers who use this. And now their smart AI platform makes it easy to take what you know and turn it into an online course and business. Go start building with a free trial at Kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com. Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently. And most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed fact writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori.